So we're back from the break, back to today's semi-final episode where we have two very strong teams battling for their place in the Perspective final. So far, the judges have been very impressed with what they've seen. And just for a quick recap, today's topic is based on a statement, which is social media helps students in everyday life. And we have team arguably the best today going against the statement, and EYC Group 2 debating for. So in this final round of today's program, we have the judges' questions round, the hardest part, I'm sure, for the contestants, as the judges will be allowed to question either team based on what they've said in round 1 and 2, or just based around the topic in general. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come straight to the judges, and I'm going to ask you guys to start giving your questions to the teams. So I'm going to come first to David. You always seem to be prepared with a lot of hard questions, and you were the one who told each team to rip each other's arguments to pieces. So I want to hear a question from you, David.
Right, my question is for EYC2. It's following on from the statements made regarding the use of we talked about nerds, and I question you as to whether using social media and the way it encourages, and I know how young people are very keen on having the latest gadgets, the latest phone. Doesn't social media create a peer pressure to have the latest phone? And doesn't that add another stress factor to the student's life?
So does social media create another sense of pressure on the student because they have another requirement that they have to meet in order to fit in? Would you guys have a response to that?
Not quite really, as most phones you can, for example, Instagram, you can just log in through internet, and you don't really need to have like the latest phone to be like.
Okay, Luan, if we head away from phones and we talk about clothes, latest clothing, the most expensive designer brands, doesn't, when people pose in their new clothes, doesn't social media put a pressure on students that they have to be wearing the latest and greatest clothes in order to impress people around them?
Well, it depends what kind of like fashion sense you're into. So if you...
Sorry, if I can just interrupt. I was actually referring to the specifics of to be one of the gang, you needed to have Snapchat, WhatsApp, and to have those items, you have to have access to the machinery that gets you that. And doesn't that, if you want to be part of the group, doesn't it mean that you have to have the latest, was it a 4G phone? See, a 4G.
That's a good point for those who want to fit in with all of their friends. Like, you obviously want to get the latest phone and update your Snapchat or whatever social media you have every day. But that's up to you whether you want to be part, whether you want to fit in with them or not. If you don't want to fit in with them, it's up to you. You can still have Snapchat or whatever social media you have. It's completely up to you. It's your decision. Do you want to be part of them or do you not want to be part of them? Like, it's your own decision to make. Like, they can be themselves, and you don't have to follow them if you don't want to. And yeah, peer pressure is a thing, but like it's up to you to fight it.
A good response, Josiah, and I can see from your response that you are probably one of those people that are quite strong and are able to make your choice. I just worry a bit for the people that are perhaps not as strong as you and find it more of a struggle.
Okay, let me, now I'm going to come to another judge for a question. Swiper, can I ask you to give a question, please?
Before the break, Team Arguably the Best made a statement which I'm very eager to respond to. You guys said that you're not so sure that young people nowadays are on their social media to keep up to date with news. I think it might have been because CNN was mentioned and we thought, okay, who searches CNN? But people do, and I mean, I do, I know a lot of my friends do. It's, it's all over your social media feeds, on Twitter, throughout the latest election. That's where all my information was coming from. That's how I was keeping up to date with it, because it's there, it's on your phone. You don't have to wait to pick up the newspaper, you don't have to wait to watch the news. It's there, and I feel like it's so valuable for that kind of thing.
An example of how popular it actually is the famous page I'm Just Bait. now opened one called I'm Just News. So clearly there is an audience for news on social media. So how would you respond to that?
That is a valid point, that there is probably an audience for news when it comes to social media, but that would have to take into fact that for every post that you get regarding news on social media, there'll be 99 others that are not regarding news. So unless you're specifically singling out those pages that you're looking for to search for it, you won't really find it. I'd go further to say that the use of social media has actually it's made a mockery of news. For example, if you're to look at how social media views the President of the United States, Donald Trump, how it views Jeremy Corbyn or Theresa May, you see those pictures known as memes. You see how it's made politics and current affairs into much of a mockery. So while it does inform people in a joking manner, you can see how social media has created a culture in which people are finding politics and current affairs a joke, to be honest.
Okay, so are you happy with that response?
Can I respond?
Sure.
So, I'm not so sure that I agree, but I guess that's the beauty of a debate. Because I don't know, I just feel like, yes, there is a lot of fake news, there are a lot of things that we do need to be really wary of, but there are just basic things where even if you're not searching for them, like for example, the terrible fire at Grenfell Tower, like that I found out immediately about that, within an hour too, and that was from my social media. I wouldn't have known any other way, and I'm sure so many people in this room, in the world, that's how they found out, and that's how you keep up to date with these things nowadays in the 21st century.
There's no denying that social media has allowed for technological advancement that allows for this sort of interaction. So there's no denying that it does mean people are more able to spread information faster. However, that also comes with the fact that not just positive information is spread. As I was saying earlier, when it comes to students are people that are young-minded and they're very impressionable. So you also find that social media has that platform where people are able to get useful information, such as you mentioned with the Grenfell Tower. But however, it also opens up people to a platform where anyone can talk to anyone. You don't know who you're talking to at points when it comes to social media. You don't know the reliability of your source of information. And as we've seen in countless news stories, this can lead to situations where young and impressionable students have been tricked or deceived into opinions from people that they thought were reliable or people that they thought they could trust across social media, which have led to various situations and news cases where it has been very problematic for young students.
Okay, thank you very much, Jayshan, for that response. Now I want to come to Notion. I'm going to ask you if you have a question for either team.
I do have a question, and this question is for arguably the best. I noticed that at the start of your argument you mentioned that social media can be a distraction for students, but there can also be a lot of success through social media, and that's evident through YouTubers who become businessmen and women. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so arguably the best. There's a lot of success through social media, and maybe a student who doesn't find the success in education and their study can find it in another path, and that path may be through social media such as YouTube and Instagram. So would you guys have a response to that? Masima?
Yeah, a lot of people have grown up through sites such as YouTube and have become big figures. However, I think a lot of people face identity crises along the way and eventually they collapse. Like an example would be KSI, who was very famous. He's now a millionaire through social media. However, now he's subjected to a lot of hate, a lot of hate pages, and he's attacked when he goes outside now. So it's had like a huge negative impact, which initially started off very positively, but eventually, because he showed his real personality and he started going against other people and expressing his views on social media, he's just now hated like by a lot of people. So it's gone like bad for him.
Anush, would you like to add on?
Yeah, furthermore, there are many people who did not make it on YouTube, and they put all of their time and their effort into it and might not be successful. And again, a lot of time being invested into that. It could be invested into formal education, where there's more of a certainty for you to get a job and to get a steady income.
Okay, thank you very much. Notion, are you pleased with the
Yeah,
response?
that's it.
Okay, I think that brings an end to the round of questions here today. So I'm sure the judges are impressed with the responses that they've heard from the contestants. But now we're going to move on to the final part, and that is the decision. We're going to have the judges now talk to each other and come up with a winner for the Best Speaker Award and which team won today's debate overall. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to ask the judges if you guys could very quickly discuss with each other who you thought was today's best speaker. Now the Best Speaker Award, if you don't know, it's an award which goes to one of the 6 contestants here today. It doesn't really matter whether they're on the winning team or not, just one of the 6 contestants, based on how they spoke, how confident they were, and the strength of their points. So the judges are going to be deciding who won that prize today, and then they're going to go on to decide which team won the debate overall. Now in the semi-finals, as it was in the quarter-finals, we've introduced our new system of voting, which is where each judge gets a slip of paper, and they individually, anonymous from the other judges, write down which team they thought won. They fold it up, put it into the perspective box, and then David is going to help me read out the results, and we'll see who won, which team won the semi-final debate, and which team becomes the first team to make it into the perspective final. Okay, so judges, can I ask you before you start to write which team, who has won the Best Speakers Award for today? Can I get one of you guys to announce it? And can I get a round of applause, please, from the contestants when they announce it? So who's going to announce? David?
Yes.
Are you going to announce? Yes. So David, can you please announce which person has won the Best Speaker Award today?
Well, we felt the person that did the best presentation was able to put forward the most coherent arguments was Jason.
Okay, so congratulations to Jason. You are today's best speaker. I personally was, I really liked your performance today as well. Some very strong points and some very confident speaking there. Okay, so now that the best speaker is announced, we're going to have the judges decide which team won today's debate and which team heads on into the perspective final. So the judges have put their slips into the box, and now David is going to help me announce the results. So I'm going to pick out the first slip. Thank you very much, David. Just put that down there. So the first vote goes to arguably the best. Okay, so arguably the best. You guys have 1 vote so far. Now I'm going to take the second vote. The second vote goes to EYC Group 2. And yet again, we have to come and refer to the third judge in order to decide which team has won today's debate and which team will be heading into the finals of perspective. We've had a very good semi-final here today. Both teams, you guys did very, very well. I'm sure the judges will agree. But now it comes to the time where I have to announce the winning team. And can I ask everyone to give a round of applause when I do? So the winning team for today's debate and booking their place in the perspective final is team arguably the best. Well done, guys. You guys head on through, after winning this semi-final, you head on through to the final of perspective, and I'm sure that the judges were very, very pleased with your performance as the result shows. So congratulations to arguably the best. Commiserations to EYC Group 2. You guys did very well, came all the way to the semi-finals, and I'm sure that you should be impressed with your performance. Now, just before we wrap it up, I'm just going to come back to the judges once more. EYC Group 2 are leaving, but this may not be the end of your road in debating, and arguably the best head on into the final. So judges, if you have just a very short piece of advice for both teams for the future, if they ever find themselves in a debate like this again, what would it be? David?
Well, I'd say keep going. You've been doing an excellent job, but keep your skills honed up, and I say really focus on what the other person is saying, because there's bound to be flaws in their argument. Make sure you have the evidence, and then you can hammer them.
Okay, Swiber?
I have a similar point to David, really making sure that you listen to the other person and thinking about what it is that you're saying, trying to stay on topic, because in debates I think it's easy to drift off a bit, but just bring it back to what you're actually talking about.
And Notion?
I agree with both David and Sober. I think it's really important to see what the other team is saying and take that to your argument as well, but keep going as well.
Okay.
Like David said.
Thank you very much, judges, for your advice there. So that brings an end to the road of EYC Group 2's journey. You guys done very well, came all the way to the semi-finals. Arguably the best. You guys have won your last 3 debates now, and you have proved that you are arguably the best. So they head on over into the final. So after this show, we have one more semi-final and one more, and the last prospective final. But before then, it's goodbye from me and everyone else here at the studio.